Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Well, yesterday was a monumental day in the college football because the Heisman Trophy winner was announced, and the candidates were there in New York waiting for the ceremony. So I wanted to kind of really just go over. Welcome to Who to Watch Sports. And on this particular session, we're going to be talking about the Heisman Trophy winner, the Heisman Trophy itself, and from current to some historical numbers as well. And I can tell you, remember, who to watch is to really look and put some emphasis on a lot of the players, positions that are not getting a lot of play, a lot of attention. So as I went through my research, come to find out there's a lot of room for those who are playing now that have been successful in obtaining that honor of the Heisman to be able to now focus in on some areas that they could really add some more history to the Heisman Trophy winner or to the Heisman as a Heisman winner to the as they're playing NFL right now to the NFL game. But I want to go ahead and just go over with a few key points that I wanted to put up. First of all, we want to say that this year, the Heisman Trophy winner 2024, or the Heisman Trophy 2024, is the 90th year, I believe I heard when I was watching the broadcast. So very, very interesting to see that this is a very good celebration time for that. I didn't know when I heard him say the 90th, I'm still going to go back and look at that some more. But there were four final candidates this year. What was interesting about this year as well is historically you'll see as I go through the data that a lot of the colleges that were represented today, as well as their rankings in the college in the college football categories were historical in a sense because of those teams that normally don't get these. Some of these gentlemen that represent teams that don't normally get that type of coverage, or have or even chosen to be in the Heisman. So I think that with all of this changing that's going on with the brackets and the different, I think it's kind of good in a way to give everyone who plays an opportunity to have be considered that normally wouldn't. And you'll hear as I go through some of the data what I really mean by that. So I want to start out first and just congratulate the four young men who were finalists this year. There were others, but the final four was Dylan Gabriel from Oregon, who's a quarterback, and then Travis Hunter from Colorado. He was a defensive back and a wide receiver, two-player. And then there is Ashton Genty, who was a running back from Boise State. And we also have Cameron Ward, quarterback for Miami. So let me go ahead and go through some of the data that I noticed that I saw that really surprised me, educated me. This is why this is called Who to Watch, because we want to be different and we want to more so focus on what can be done still. Who to watch for those new stats that can be made, those new positions, those new uh, historical things that can be done in playing, whether it's in the NFL or whether it's in college, that these young people can aspire for and either add to the history books or even bring up things in the history book that's not there yet. So let's go with that. So first of all, the final four, those were the final four. And of course, if you don't know by now, that Travis Hunter of Colorado was the winner of the Heisman Trophy. And he is, if I'm not mistaken, the first two-player Heisman Trophy winner. I think I'm right on that. But he is celebrated because he is a two-player um, player, athlete. And I believe that adds something also now to football, is because even his coach, former coach, mentor Dion, when he got when I looked at research, Dion was not a Heisman winner, but in the NFL, he was a two-way player. He didn't play two-way, they said, in college, but in the NFL, of course, he played for four or five different teams, and he was successful in being that two-way. So What I saw today, historically speaking, was that he mentored a young man that had the same capabilities as what he did in the NFL, who it was able to birth that and bring that forward in college to a whole nother level. And so that was very interesting to me. So what I have here is that the like I said, Travis Hunter, congratulations to him for being a Heisman winner. But I also want to congratulate the other three players who did not. The two quarterbacks and the gentleman, the running back from Florida State. They are just as much winners to even be to the Final Four, right? So hopefully in their career, as they go through, even in the NFL, when they're chosen and they go with these teams in the NFL, they can still have time to make in their own pathway for their own honors and achievements through their careers, their football careers, because there's so much more out there to do, so much out there more to make. So you'll hear as we go along what I mean by that. So the Heisman highest, I looked up the highest number of football position winners. Listen to this: 44 quarterbacks have won the Heisman, and 35 running backs. Those are the two highest positions for the Heisman. So you can understand why having someone like Hunter come in and be in a totally not in those classes where those are the norm. And then I did also find out that there is, so I put it here, there's room for more Heisman greatness. The first Heisman winner was in 1935, it says, and that was Jay Berwanger from Chicago. How many Heisman winners have won Super Bowls? I had to look that up because I wanted to see if there was a correlation for a lot of Heisman, especially we got all these running backs and quarterbacks. But the data says, and I got this from off of ESPN and the NFL, those different, I Googled, and it says how many, I have put in how many Heisman winners have won Super Bowls, and the number came back to 10. And it said, so let me just give you a rundown a little bit. 10 Heisman winners have won Super Bowls. Okay, Marcus Allen was he was a running back for the Raiders. However, he is the only Heisman player to win. Listen to this: Heisman Trophy, the NCAA National Championship, Super Bowl, NFL MVP, and Super Bowl MVP. The only player, Marcus Allen. So you see what I mean when I said there's a lot out there left to be achieved for the players that are playing today. Only player to have won Heisman twice was in 1974 and 1975, back to back. That player was Archie Griffin, running back from Ohio State. The only two Heisman winning quarterbacks to have started and won Super Bowls, listen to this: Roger Staubach, 1972 Super Bowl 6, 1978 Super Bowl 12, and Jim Plunkett from Oakland, California Raiders, 1981 Super Bowl 15, and LA Raiders 1984 Super Bowl 18. Isn't that amazing? The only two Heisman winners, only two Heisman winning quarterbacks to have started and won Super Bowls. So you see what I mean? Why there's a lot out there. We've got from the Ravens, we've got from Cincinnati Bengals, Burrow. I mean, we got other players out here that can add to these numbers. That those two. So that's why I call it Who to Watch, because there's so much still to be done for who to watch, who to make some data, who to create history, to expand history, to develop a whole new category, all of that. And that's why this is called Who to Watch. Another one is, so I'm watching to see what players who are now in the NFL that were Heisman Trophy winners that can come up and match and get in these categories. Also, now this was amazing to me. The only positions to have never won Heisman trophies is interior lineman on the defense and on the offense. So now you all know who've been following me. I started this Who to Watch saying I wanted to look at the punters, I wanted to look at the kickers, I wanted to look at the linemen, offensive linemen, defensive linemen, your safety, your cornerbacks, I just wanted to look at a few that don't get a lot of press. And when I saw this, I said, okay, this is what I mean. So who's going to be out of all the linemen playing today? Who's going to be an interior lineman on the offense and or the defense or both to win the Heisman Trophy? Isn't that amazing? I cannot believe that with all the linemen that have come through, and we have not chosen any defensive or offensive linemen. So I'm hoping that that can be something that can be achieved very soon. Schools with the highest colleges. So I would put the schools or the colleges with the high and universities with the highest Heisman winners. Let me give you this list. The highest number is USC, University of Southern California, with 8. And they just had Caleb Williams. Then there's Ohio State with 7. Oklahoma tied with 7. Notre Dame tied with 7. Then we go to Alabama with 4. And then there are 7 schools that had 3 Heisman Trophy. That is Auburn, Army, Florida, Florida State, Michigan, Nebraska, and LSU. And then there are 7 schools that had 2 Heisman Trophy winners. That's Colorado, Georgia, Miami in Florida, University of Miami, Navy, Texas A&M, Yale, and Wisconsin. So just that little bit of data. Can you see where there's so many openings for the players who are playing today, whether they're in high school going into college or if they're college, to know what's out here that hasn't been achieved yet, that you still can make a mark on by being a Heisman winner and achieving some of these, especially the linebackers for the defense and the offense. I mean, that has never. So I definitely want to see who those players are that are going to come forward and really master that. One thing about I also want to say this about football is that I'm seeing this right here is giving me also a entry into the collaboration, the expansion, the ability to continue to be an anchor for data and for history and for building up the sport. And so it is just very, very interesting to see how all of this is just this little bit of data. I don't get into a lot of data because I really don't want to get into the stats and all of that. That's not as important to me as this type of data. Who's going to be the first lineman? Defense. Who's going to be the first offensive lineman? Who's going to surpass? Who's going to catch up with California with 8 from their school as far as Heisman winners? Who's going to be the next 2-player athlete to win the Heisman, whatever those positions may be, and who's going to challenge and beat Marcus Allen? Who's going to challenge Marcus Allen's all of his accomplishments as a Heisman winner? I mean, I can't believe only Heisman player to win a Heisman Trophy, an NCAA national championship, also to win a Super Bowl, be the NFL MVP and the Super Bowl MVP. I mean, those are some really, really major, and that's Marcus Allen. And you see how long ago that's been? So we have a lot of room, Super Bowl MVP. We have a lot of room for the players today. And that's why I want the players to watch the feed, because where do you fit in? Or what mark are you going to make? What statistics are you going to add to this? Or what statistics are you going to create for this? So I want to make sure that we understand that Who to Watch Sports, and even though I'm just looking on football right now, there is so much yet. And I was very, very intrigued by the data that I found regarding the Heisman and what that means. So to Travis, a successful career prayerfully. The other 3 young men, a very successful career. But those other 3 young men could, even though they were Heisman, they did not win the Heisman. They have some things that they can contribute to making sure the next class that come up after them can achieve some things, as well as when they're going into the NFL, these 3 that's going into the NFL, including Travis, that's going to them, all 4 of them, there's more data. I'm going to bring out some information. I have another feed that I'll be doing regarding that. And so I'm really, really excited to be able to be on this journey of who to watch sports and covering football. I think that this is also expanding and the expansion that's happening around the world with football now. I would like to see more colleges go overseas, just like the NFL players, to expand the data, to expand the, to have those countries as well develop their own data, like our data for, and then we can get something with, an international Heisman, or, we can, I don't even know if they have that, but, international Heisman, or positions that they want to look at and compare with maybe quarterbacks from the seven continents or whatever, and just do. It's just so much more to do out there. And since the world's getting smaller, it's really good to see that the NFL, and I believe the now the college, can now expand what we have here in this country, and kind of invite and expand it to other countries as well. And maybe we'll start seeing even some of those players come over here and play, and some of our players go over there and play. But this is very, very interesting to me. So I was very excited tonight. I was very happy for all four of the candidates. They look like all four fine young men. And I want them, the young men who did not win, I want you to hold your head up high for the fact that you made it, and that know that you still are in the history books as the top four candidates, and also that you have some marks that you still can, and some trophies and some accomplishments that you still can make towards even the Super Bowl. So if only, and this is what was so interesting to me, that so few teams has so few Heisman winners. How many Heisman winners have won Super Bowls? Only 10 after all these years of football. So there's just so much more out there. And I would like to see those numbers keep going up, and keep adding new faces. So these three young men who did make it, and even, Travis, can all accomplish for some other data out there for not only being the top finalist for the Heisman, but you go and win a Super Bowl, or you add some more value to the Heisman winning as well. So this is just very, very exciting. I'm excited for everyone. I hope everybody's safe. Have a good time. If you're out partying, be responsible. Get back so you can get back for your bowl games, and for what the other things that you have to do for the rest of the season. But it was really good to watch. I really enjoyed finding this data, so I'm keeping my directory. If there's more out there, I'm going to be looking to see, because I like to get as comprehensive as I can. But for right now, I just wanted to at least put that out there. So thank you for coming on to Who to Watch Sports, where we cover the Heisman Trophy celebration, and the candidates, the four finalists, and the winner as well, in addition to the history of the Heisman as it relates to the different accomplishments made throughout the teams and the players as a part of the Heisman class. And so with that, I'm going to sign off. But thank you so much for coming to watch Who to Watch Sports, and we'll talk to you soon again. Have a good one.